Welcome to FinTech TV. I'm Remy Blair. Breakpoint is Solana's global flagship event, the annual gathering of Solana's ecosystem, and it is a conference for founders, builders, and institutions shaping the next era of the internet and also internet capital markets. Well, this year's event will be held in Abu Dhabi from December 11th to the 13th, coinciding with Abu Dhabi Finance Week and Formula One. And FinTech TV will be there live from the conference, bringing you live coverage. Well, joining me today to weigh in is Akshay BD, not CMO for the Solana Foundation. Akshay, great.
Yeah, I can do it now. Okay. 10, 9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. I turn this one back off for you. 10, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. They're both coming through the same channel again, they said. They're both coming through channel 2.
Copy that.
He's looking into it.
We'll get that straight one of these days.
Okay. Channel 1, channel 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Perfect. No.
Sorry.
Okay, one more time, one more time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay, perfect. There we go.
Hi, I'm Keith Grossman, president of Moon Creator. You're watching Taking Stock.
Markets higher on the day and higher for this, the very first trading week for the month of December. Historically, as we know, one of the strongest months of the year for equities, and at least on this Friday, kind of a mixed bag across the major market indexes, but the S&P 500 expected to finish in right around 68.66, the number I had been hoping for, north of 68.90. That is the all-time high close from the S&P 500 from only Thursday, October 28th. It doesn't feel like we're just a few points away, but we are. Telecom, tech, and discretionary shares are leading the way for the S&P 500 with a few laggards towards the bottom of the pack. Healthcare and utilities, a bit of profit taking there. That and much more sets the stage for this Friday edition of the show. And welcome to the show. You're watching Taking Stock. I'm your host, JD Durkin. Mere moments away, my friends, one and all, watching the broadcast from the ringing of the truly iconic closing bell here at the New York Stock Exchange. The team from Wells Fargo Wealth and Investment Management set to do the honors, and my man Ted Rossman of Bankrate is on deck. He'll join us right after the bell to get his take on today's price action and what more broadly the team at Bankrate have been seeing across these markets. Huge M&A news on the deal on the day, of course. Netflix set to buy Warner Brothers Discovery's film and streaming assets in a $72 billion deal. That put Netflix shares a little bit down on the day, but a big pop for WBD, up 5%. We'll continue our market scorecard right after the ringing of the closing bell. Here now for the honors, the team from Wells Fargo. What's up, man? Have a good weekend. Actually, come here. I'll talk with you real quick. Real quick on breadth into the close. What did you see here for declines?
So look, it's just a little bit of a skitsy market coming into the close. We did see a big sell program, but the market's not clear. I think everybody's waiting for Wednesday. All eyes are on the Fed. Thanks, baby. All eyes are on the Fed. The most important thing that we saw over the last couple of weeks is, obviously, there are a lot of big players with interest rate sensitive portfolios.
Sure.
Because when the probability went down to 15%, they sold them. When it went up to 88%, they bought them. So that's kind of where we're sitting.
All right.
It's the beginning of December. There's a lot left to happen, right? Retail numbers were great. You know, it was a bit of a skitsy close.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens into the Fed week. Thanks for kicking us off real quick. I wanted to get
pleasure.
your quick take
You
before
go get
we
'em,
start.
baby.
All right, the great Ted Rossman, a Bankrate senior industry analyst. Ted, come on. It's one of those days. He's got info on the volume. You've got info on the macro. Thanks for joining us. It's really good to have you.
Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Can I get your perspective? Thanks for dealing with the chaos in the live broadcast.
It's
What's
fun.
going on more broadly in these markets, Ted? What are you seeing?
Well, the markets are doing well, and it's part of this K-shaped economy that we keep talking about. If you own stocks, if you own a home, you're feeling a lot better. We've seen it in the recent holiday shopping data, too. Retail sales were really good over Thanksgiving weekend. A lot of that is being carried by the high-income consumer. It's an interesting market right now.
What do you see in terms of how Americans are prepared to pay for the holidays?
Well, that's again where that K-shape comes into play. Half of credit card holders pay in full every month and half don't. That's a massive divide when you think about people carrying debt at 20% interest versus other people paying it off right away, getting those airline miles and cash back and hotel points. It really is a stark example of sort of the haves and have-nots element. Buy now, pay later continues to surge, had its first ever billion-dollar day on Cyber Monday. That's been growing rapidly.
Absolutely. What are you seeing in terms of emergency savings for a lot of consumers who may already feel a little bit stretched across the economy, Ted?
This remains a pain point. Yeah, only about 1 in 4 Americans have that recommended 6-month cushion. We see a similar number don't have any emergency savings at all. It relates to the credit card debt problem because it's the other side of the same coin. If you don't have that first $1,000 at least, what happens when the fridge breaks or the heater goes on the fritz this winter? You put it on the credit card and then it becomes harder to pay off. It is a systemic problem, and it just relates to this issue right now of inflation's come down, but consumers are not feeling better because of the cumulative weight of how much prices have risen over the last 5 years.
How much are you tracking this idea of kind of shopping down or value shopping for higher income Americans? We're hearing that more and more from companies like Chipotle, like McDonald's, like Walmart, who say more six-figure income earners are now shopping for their essentials than the company has ever seen before.
Walmart's doing really well. They're appealing to that value-oriented consumer. Some other companies aren't doing as well. We know Target's had its set of struggles, and some of that is their mix is more discretionary. They don't sell as many groceries as Walmart does, but some of it is the perception of value and what do you need to buy now versus wait. Even a retailer like McDonald's, they're not as low cost as they used to be. And there's actually evidence that some people are pulling back, even on what we think is a lower price point dining establishment. So that, again, sort of the haves and have-nots kind of idea. But we are seeing a lot of shifts in behavior. Got a little bit better read today on consumer sentiment from the University of Michigan. It's still pretty low, though.
Yeah, absolutely. We are seeing volatility more broadly now reach its multi-month low. I got 30 seconds left. What else is on your radar for the rest of Q4 here?
This is going to be an interesting holiday travel season because despite all the gloom and doom, people are traveling. Some of it is upper income households propping this up. Some of it is people just wanting to enjoy the holidays. People are spending in the face of all these challenges. They feel gloomy, but they're still spending. I actually think the economy is in better shape than a lot of people realize.
Yeah, we love a good conversation or debate about the difference between the soft data and the hard data. Who better to kick us off here? Really, Ted Rossman, Senior Industry Analyst at Bankrate. Thanks for being here as always, my man.
Good to see you.
Great to have you. Josh, going to grab your microphone. You and I are going to head for a walk this way. Ian Owens, the best dressed man at the New York Stock Exchange. What's going on? Josh, where did Victoria's Secret end up finishing the day on this Friday?
Well, JD, it's no secret, up almost 18% on the day.
Was that a Victoria's Secret pun, Josh, live during the show? 18% on the day. That's the next stock we're going to talk about after reporting a beat on both top and bottom lines. It is VSCO. That is, of course, Victoria's Secret, part of its ongoing multi-year turnaround strategy. Very strong third quarter net sales, the best growth the company has seen in the last 4 years. A huge gap up, reaching a fresh 52-week high, up, as Josh said, 18%. It's no secret. All right, we'll take a look here at two NYSE-listed companies. This is kind of what Ted Rossman and I were just talking about, this fact that the value plays, the discounters are doing really well right now. How about Dollar General, up more than 5.5% to a new 52-week high. The stock is up 21% in the last week alone, raising its full-year profit outlook. And this stock outpacing every one of the Magnificent Seven. Shares of Dollar General are up 73% this year. My goodness. Finally, we'll take a look here at ticker symbol LUV because we love talking about the airlines. It's the team from Southwest. Shares up 5.7 on the day. One of the strongest performers in the S&P, notching its fourth consecutive session in the green, trading right at the top of its 52-week range. It has kind of found resistance over the course of the last 3 years, right around where it's trading now, 36 to 38. That sets the stage for much more here in the fourth quarter. All right, we'll take a look now at one of the most exciting upcoming new events in the world of cryptocurrency. Solana Breakpoint, happening in Abu Dhabi next week, promises to bring together the biggest builders, investors, and operators from around the world. Take a look.
Welcome to FinTech TV. I'm Remy Blair. Breakpoint is Solana's global flagship event, the annual gathering of Solana's ecosystem, and it is a conference for founders, builders, and institutions shaping the next era of the internet and also internet capital markets. Well, this year's event will be held in Abu Dhabi from December 11th to the 13th, coinciding with Abu Dhabi Finance Week and Formula One. And FinTech TV will be there live from the conference, bringing you live coverage. Well, joining me today to weigh in is Akshay BD, CMO for the Solana Foundation. Akshay, great to have you back on. So Solana Breakpoint, what are the themes of the conference this year and what can attendees actually expect?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Look, we're very excited about Breakpoint. It's in less than 2 weeks from now. And, we have two themes for the conference this year. It's revenue and returns. We've seen sort of like a cycle of these blockchain projects where you saw proof of concepts and applications getting shipped to the mainnet. I think it's now time to raise the bar to showcase and celebrate applications that are generating revenue. And so we're going to be platforming teams that are generating revenue and infrastructure and support teams that are helping teams generate revenue. So that's kind of a core team. That cuts across everything from payments to trading applications to, deepen projects to anything that has organic demand Of course, this, our industry is cyclical, much like the finance industry, and so these things go up and down. But they have found some core product market fit, off of which they're able to generate revenue. So we're excited to platform that entire category of companies and applications at Breakpoint this year. And the other theme is returns. There's investors. Is a wide variety of categories. Everybody from the individual angel investor to the trader to venture funds to fund of funds, hedge funds, sovereign wealth funds, and so there's like this entire swath of capital allocators who are looking at blockchain ecosystems and trying to figure out how to generate return. And we're going to be platforming some of the best operators across that capital stack to talk to our to talk to new investors who are looking at this opportunity to generate sort of alpha in the medium to long term, especially those that have now been cleared to invest in this asset class by virtue of regulation and broader sort of institutional acceptance of our overall industry.
Yeah, and Akshay, this is the 5th annual Breakpoint conference, and it does sound as though there will be many types of attendees at the event. So tell us how you've seen the ecosystem grow and also mature from earlier Breakpoint conferences.
Yeah, it's really like exciting because time flies. Is that we're already at year 5. I think I can personally chart the attendee profile from memory to be one that was focused largely on folks who are hardware and network geeks, setting up the early validators and setting up the infrastructure necessary to run such a high performance network instead of like perhaps Breakpoint 1, and then that evolved into um, you know a becoming a platform for application developers. So, in 2022, 2023 was really about the whole investing thesis was about follow the devs, and the devs were, largely we were talking about the application layer developers. And given Solana's unique infrastructure, it enabled people who wanted to just build companies to focus on the application that they want to build and abstract away all the complexity of having to manage infrastructure. So it attracted sort of like this net new kind of participant who wanted to be a founder at the application layer. And this year, I think we're going to see an evolution of that into people who are also looking to allocate capital and find ways to participate in the on-chain economy, either by providing liquidity or investing in early stage teams, or have opening up their liquid books to assets in the ecosystem. And that's part of why we decided to do this in Abu Dhabi this year, because it's on the sidelines of the Abu Dhabi Finance Week, where there's going to be something like 15 to 20,000 professionals in the traditional finance industry attending all at once. Abu Dhabi calls itself the capital of capital, and true to its form, is sort of becoming a shelling point for a lot of capital allocators to gather every year to discuss the future of their relevant sort of subsector in that industry. And so we expect to have a lot of crossover interest from that conference and that's attendee profile into this year's Breakpoint. So it lines up pretty well with all of the developments in the US that allows for sort of like a more regulated stablecoin infrastructure and space that opens doors to some of these folks who have been on the fence for a while, and of course, like that tailwind will play a big role in opening up the regulatory environment in regions around the world, including here in the UAE.
Okay, Akshay, it was great talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to connecting with you and your team on the ground.
Let's do it on this Friday. Welcome back to the broadcast. You're watching Taking Stock from the New York Stock Exchange. Give you a quick update on how the crypto majors have performed on this Friday. All down quite a bit. Bitcoin down 3%, ETH down 3%, Solana down 4%, Bitcoin sliding under 90,000. At least that's quite a bit for equities. Numbers for crypto, it's kind of just another day that ends in Y. Say hello to our next guest here on the show. This is Henry Ward. He is the CEO of Carta, making his Taking Stock debut. though he and I have interviewed before. It's great to have you.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Thanks a lot for being here. So talk to me first and foremost. I know you're covering a whole bunch of stuff that you track very closely at Carta, given your data, AI, and IPOs. Let's start with IPOs, because we had Paul Atkins from the SEC here this week. Where do you see that we are in the IPO landscape?
There's a bunch of companies thinking about it, preparing for it. I was at a conference last week with a bunch of pre-IPO CEOs talking to public market investors, getting a feel for it. I should say the latest kind of, IPO companies that went out, over the last 6 months, and they're struggling a little bit in the markets. They're making late-stage companies, even including us, taking a pause and saying, is now the time, or should we wait 6 to 12 months? But everybody's getting ready. You talk to the top 100 CEOs of pre-IPO tech companies right now, they're all saying, look, 12 to 18 months, we're thinking about doing something.
Are there regulatory or macro conditions that need to continue to evolve to even make that ecosystem a bit friendlier for potential IPOs into 2026?
I don't think it's a regulatory issue for these companies. I think it's entirely right now there's a dislocation between the private company valuations and the public company valuations. It's way easier to get a good value or a good mark in the private arena right now. Public company valuations are much more strict, and that's what people are trying to figure out is what's the arbitrage of, hey, if I go public now, looking at my last private mark, will I get crushed in the public markets or not?
Talk to me a bit about what you're seeing in the world of early stage startups and anything that's really important there, Henry, you think more people should be paying a bit more attention to.
The AI craze is real. Like, it's a real thing. Everybody's saying, look at these valuations, they're crazy. 100% of these valuations are, 100% aren't crazy, 98% probably are, but the 2% that aren't are the ones that are going to return for all the mistakes of the losers. I think that's one of the things people don't quite get in private markets versus public. Public markets is really a normally distributed, it's a Gaussian distribution curve, right? Everybody thinks about it, Black-Scholes, it's normally distributed. Private companies are power law. And so 5% of the companies will return 95% of the results. And so how do you price that, right? And basically everything's priced as a call option on it. It's going to be $1 trillion company. Only 5% of those will be $1 trillion companies, but you price them all like they will be, and you just hope that you got the winner, and all the people that don't, they'll lose, but that doesn't mean it was a dumb investment. They just picked the wrong horse.
How should we think about the ongoing bubble debate? How warranted is that very debate, and where do you fall on valuations as we wrap up Q4?
I think it's high beta. A lot of people will lose a lot of money, not because they were stupid, but because they picked the wrong horse, but it was the right idea. It's hard to know which companies are going to be winners, but there's going to be a lot of people that lose money. There's going to be a lot of people that make a lot of money, and that's what the next, I think, 2 years will be, is filtering out which were the good companies and which were the bad ones.
Henry Ward is the CEO at Carta, making his Taking Stock debut, but it won't be the last time. We'll have you back again soon. All the best for the holidays. Thanks for being here.
Super. Thanks for having me.
Really good to have you. Folks, don't go anywhere. Much more Taking Stock coming up after this quick break. Welcome back to the broadcast. You're watching Taking Stock. Time now for what is always my favorite part of the show, not just speaking with an amazing guest, but someone who was with the team who just rang the closing bell. Say hello to our third guest of the show. This is Heather Hunt-Ruddy. She is president of the Central Division for Wells Fargo Wealth and Investment Management. Heather, welcome to the show.
Thank you. What a fun day.
And welcome to the New York Stock Exchange. It's great to have you here.
It's been 25 years since I've been here.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, welcome back. We're here, of course, right after our 102nd tree lighting, which was yesterday. It's a big deal in the community.
Beautiful tree.
Can you talk to me about the experience to have you and your team down here for the bell today?
So we were so excited because we got to bring some of our best clients in today from all over the country to talk about the great wealth transfer and how to manage it and how to prepare for it, and as a family, how to really get ready to deal with wealth.
I feel as if the phrase the great wealth transfer is something a lot of our viewers will be familiar with, but maybe not everyone. What are the key things you think are most important for people to know about it?
So in the next 25 years, $124 trillion is going to change hands, largely from baby boomers, first to their spouses and then to their heirs. And that is a lot of money. We throw around words like trillion. It's $1 billion, 124,000 times. It's a lot of money, and people need to be prepared so that you build a legacy that lasts for generations.
Talk to me about what the preparation looks like and really those key, important family-level conversations over the kitchen table that undoubtedly more people might want to consider having ahead of that type of transfer.
Too many people are waiting too long to have the conversations. And what we really need parents, founders, grandparents to do is to sit down and have conversations with that next generation now to prepare them. I dealt with this very personally last year. So I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer last year. I'm doing great. But it forced me to have conversations with my kids that I needed to have. So I call cancer the great conversation starter. Don't be in my shoes. Do it now. Have those conversations so your kids are ready.
After those conversations, what are the next steps that you most recommend individuals, their families, their spouses, their loved ones then take to actually put into action what they discuss?
They need to get a great financial advisor. They need to get somebody who really is going to take the time to listen to them, to understand what is going on with their family and with their wealth. They need to look into planning. We have advanced planning software that we use to help people prepare for any eventuality. They need to understand things like trust and estate and cyber and AI and all of the different things that are going to impact that wealth this generation into the next generation.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit
Get
more
some help.
before I let you go about what that help, but really the role of technology is, given the fact that this type of transfer will be much more reliant on those underlying technical components than maybe we've seen with previous generations.
Yeah, so we're definitely really employing a lot of AI tools, but AI, while it can analyze the data, AI is not going to hold your hand when you get sick. AI is not going to help you understand how to talk to a child who's got a problem. AI is not going to help you deal with having to deal with putting mom and dad into a nursing home. So you need to put a combination together, which we're very good at, of professionals and technology to really help manage that wealth into the future.
Heather Hunt-Ruddy is the president of the Central Division for Wells Fargo Wealth and Investment Management. Thank you for being here. Much more importantly, I'm so glad to hear that you're doing well.
I'm doing great. Thank you
really
so
am.
much.
What a pleasure to have you on
Thanks for
this
having
show.
us. Appreciate it.
Of course. Enjoy your weekend. Folks, don't go anywhere. Much more Taking Stock coming up after this quick break. Loncarrick joins us now for a one-on-one interview. Tina, of course, is the global head of public relation at Money 2020. Tina, thanks a lot for taking the time. It's great to have you, and I've been so excited about our conversation today. Money 2020 Asia happens in Bangkok in April 21st to April 23rd. Talk to me first and foremost about some of the ways participating companies can prepare for their news stories ahead of the show in April.
Sure. Thank you for having me, JD, on the show. So yes, we are super excited about Money 2020 Asia in Bangkok. And we are now in the midst of booking speakers and planning out these fantastic news stories that we love for the companies to submit. So if you are a delegate, if you are a sponsor, if you're an exhibitor, you have the chance to submit to our call for breaking news for the chance to present your news story on stage in front of the global media audience in Bangkok.
So what exactly is Money 2020's Asia's call for breaking news? And talk to me a bit more about the things you're looking for.
Money 2020's call for breaking news in Bangkok is essentially all about finding those amazing news stories. Whether you're a delegate, whether you're a sponsor, whether you're an exhibitor, you have the chance to submit that exclusive news story to our call for breaking news submission on our website. We are looking for anything between product launches, mergers, partnerships, acquisitions, white paper surveys, reports. Media tends to love white papers and surveys. What is the most important thing here is that the story has not been launched anywhere before. It needs to be 100% exclusive so that the media really feels that this is a one-of-a-kind news story only launched at Money 2020 Asia.
Tina, I wonder, are there any special rules, special requirements when applying for call for breaking news?
Yes. So again, the importance of 100% under embargo, 100% exclusive, that is the number one rule. If you are announcing a partnership, for example, we would love to see that partner together with you presenting on stage. We cannot bring forward a partnership or a customer story unless we have that customer or partner on stage. Those are important things. What is also important is to bring forward your most senior executive or leader that has been part of making that news story happen. That is one important aspect of this. But we can't wait to receive your submissions, and we really have an amazing opportunity for a company to present that story on one of our 4 beautiful stages in Bangkok.
And if a company's news story is chosen, Tina, how can that company better amplify that story to the media at the show in Bangkok?
So we will promote the story ahead of time. We will promote the companies that are launching the story. The story will be exclusive up until launched on stage. The company can obviously promote this after they have announced it on stage. There is interview opportunities with the media afterwards. So this is a way to take one story to a global audience.
Tina Loncarrick is the global head of public relation, Money 2020. We cannot wait for the show. Thank you so much for taking the time to lay out everything that's at stake here for these call for breaking news stories. And thanks a lot for being here, Tina. We'll see you at the show.
Thank you so much, JD.
Welcome back to the show. You're watching Taking Stock for the final trading day of the first week here in December. Get you quickly caught up on the performance of the major market indexes on this Friday. The S&P up fractionally. The Dow also up fractionally, though the small caps down about 0.4. Next week, man, oh man, it is a big one. Fed Day on Wednesday, not just the decision and the press conference, but how about dot plot projections for 2026? Thursday, initial and continuing jobless claims. Earnings on Tuesday from Campbell's Soup and GameStop. Wednesday from Oracle and Adobe. And on Thursday, we'll hear from Broadcom, Lululemon, and Costco. 9 a.m. Monday morning, NYSE TV Live and FinTech TV Live, both here at the New York Stock Exchange, counting you down to next week's open. That's going to do it for Taking Stock. Have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday.